Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in South Florida, it's time for South Florida Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of South Florida Business Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today on the show, we have Carolina Veira with CareMax. Welcome.
Hey, Lee, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about CareMax. How are you serving folks?
Listen, at CareMax, we have both elements, both the medical services. So our patients go and visit our centers and receive primary care physician services and specialty services. So anything from seeing your doctor to nutrition, learning about your eyes and if you need glasses or not, diabetes, meeting with other patients, that sort of thing. But we also have a technology component where we're able to look at the patient's data and get real-time information, and just to provide that whole approach to healthcare. We not only worry about their physical healthcare, but also their mental healthcare, their social economic, their social determinants of health. How are they dealing with a community? Who's taking care of them? Who's their provider? Who are their neighbors? All that information is needed to provide the best care.
So what's your backstory? How'd you get into this line of work? It must be so rewarding.
It is very rewarding. Actually, I started in the renewable energy field, actually, but then when I moved to Florida a few years ago, after living in Buffalo, because you need to experience a little bit of the cold. Go Bills, by the way. Then I moved and I started working in the healthcare industry. And it truly, when you work in healthcare, you obviously serve patients, all ages, all socioeconomical backgrounds, all different professions, and you experience truly, and you can see the need out there to not only provide medical services, but just to be there to support others and to do this tied to your day-to-day job is a blessing. We do say that it's a blessing to be a blessing. And that's the type of approach that we take. We are all part of one big family, and we want all the members of our families to be as healthy as possible.
Now, it's important that you mentioned all members of the family. And in a lot of cases, those folks that need the most care don't have the resources or the ability to kind of get the care that they need and deserve. Can you talk a little bit about how important it is for CareMax, from a corporate social responsibility standpoint, in order to make sure that everybody who needs the care can have access to it?
Absolutely. And this is a beautiful question, by the way, Lee, because I believe that not only our organization, but every organization, corporate America, should be taking more of a responsible and active role into ensuring that our communities are as healthy, are as taken care as possible. I know that we cannot do it all, but we can all do something. And it's not only about what you and I can do, it's also about what corporations can do, what the government is doing. It's all working together to ensure that everyone, but especially the most vulnerable members of our communities, are taken care of and are served, and their health is at the best level possible. Because we are only as strong as the most vulnerable members of our community. So it is a mission of love. I think it's more than anything, it's understanding that there's a need out there, and maybe we can do it all, but if we work together, we can do much more than just working, just doing a little bit of work. There's unlimited resources out there from our end, and that's what we focus is on understanding what the needs are, but also what the needs of our patients, but also the needs of our communities, where our people, our team members are working. That's where they live. So we want to ensure that we create partnerships with other organizations, and especially the government agencies, to ensure that we're all working in tandem and towards the same mission, which is, to us, it's provide the best healthcare, but with passion, with compassion, with kindness, and with those within our values, right?
Now, you mentioned how important these kind of strategic partnerships are. In a lot of communities, there's a lot of groups and individual organizations that are trying to solve a specific problem, but very rarely are all of the organizations that are trying to solve this kind of larger holistic problem working together and not duplicating services or duplicating efforts. But how do you kind of build these relationships and partnerships with the variety of resources that are out there to help everybody make sure that we can get to as many people that have the needs?
Yeah, it is about, it is my belief that it's about truly understanding not only what we want to see happening, what the end result or what we're striving for when we're building these partnerships with other organizations, but also very focused on what the real needs of that community of those patients are. We cannot, it's a tailored initiative, tailor-made initiative, if I may say so, because you really need to understand what that community needs. You can't assume that everyone needs the same thing. So it's by working on those relationships, understanding what they see as their main needs, understanding what we have as assets that we can use for those communities, and then truly not focusing on creating big projects that are going to take 10 years. Yes, have that long-term vision, but work on smaller, short-term goals, accomplishing those short-term goals that are more achievable and you can provide results. Because only when you see the numbers and the results and the impact that the lives impacted, it's when you can encourage other organizations and other partners to join you and to really understand what you're striving for. So I think that open communication, that transparency, accountability, all those elements are so important when building these relationships, but also understanding what people need, not only assuming, but truly sitting down, having that cup of coffee, if you may say, but just having that conversation of, okay, what is it that you need? So that's how I build successful relationships and successful initiatives, I believe.
By listening and by hearing the stories of the people from the horse's mouth, not jumping to conclusions or making assumptions based on, what's kind of good for the organization. It sounds like CareMax, as part of their culture and DNA, is to really serve this community in an authentic manner.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond the patients, right? It goes into their families, their neighbors, their churches, if they attend one, the schools, everyone in between, because everyone plays a role. So how can a corporation, a company like CareMax can influence and can provide support and in an authentic manner? That's what we work on every day. We're not only here, we're here in the business of providing healthcare. Obviously, we want to make it sustainable, so we need to make money, but there's ways of making or producing revenue where we all benefit from it. Our patients, our members, our team members also, because we want the communities where we are to be as successful as possible. So they live happy and healthier lives. Only when they grow and they advance, it's when everyone benefits from it.
Well, it sounds like your efforts have been noticed, and you've been recently named one of the 100 most influential Latinas in 2022. Can you talk about that award and why it's so important to you?
Of course. And thank you so much for bringing that up. Latino Leaders, they identified the 100 what they call the most influential Latinas in the U.S. And I was recognized by the magazine as one of them. So I'm especially proud because I know I can be representing, but I know that I'm the summary of a lot of people working and supporting me in different roles and different initiatives. But more than anything, to me, it's about representation. It's about standing up for a community or for people of color, for women of color, for women who are trying to constantly break barriers in advance and show what we're capable of, right? So we can be what we cannot see. So we need more of these examples of success and whatever success means to you, but more people making things happen and whatever their goals are, just so others can see themselves and in those leaders and the community leaders, those professionals, those mothers, those daughters that are truly not only representing, but setting a tone and elevating others. Because it ultimately, to me, it comes down to, now that you get this type of recognition, what are we doing also to elevate others, to open doors for others, to make sure that others, the ones that are coming behind us or the ones that are with us, right, that are part of our cohorts, how are we supporting them to also shine a light on their success? Because our individual stories are powerful. Our individual stories are needed. We just need to showcase this information so more people can achieve greater things just by looking at what's possible.
Can you share a story that might illustrate the way that you bring people together, and maybe the most rewarding story that you were able to, help other people kind of join forces and maybe create a bigger impact than any individual might have thought possible?
So I tell you what, during COVID-19, I have two stories, and I'm going to make it short and sweet because I know that we're limited on time. But during COVID-19, we started delivering hot meals to our healthcare heroes at different hospitals. When people started realizing that this was possible, and it was the healthcare heroes felt good about it, we had, and by we, I mean my team and I, we had the support of bigger corporations like Beam Suntory, Procter & Gamble, with products, so we can help. We were able to help other communities, farm workers in Homestead, people in Orlando, people in New York, people in different cities within the States, to during the time of need, right? When you are dealing with a pandemic, and if you don't remember that, it wasn't that far back when we were all quarantined and not everyone had resources available to pay for, toilet paper and things like that. They were focusing on others. So this was meaningful to them, and we really impacted a lot of so far we've impacted 40,000 lives with these initiatives. But the most recent one, I'm part of a book, which is Today Inspired Latina, Volume 9. And at one of our colleges, Miami-Dade College, we were able to talk to students about our experiences, professional and personal. And out of this group, a couple of girls, they have this initiative at school where they want to end period poverty. So now, because of that experience, I motivated them to go beyond Florida, and now they're in different states, but I'm mentoring them, and I'm working with them on establishing their NPO, their non-for-profit, so their 501c3. So these are initiatives that are meaningful, but are impactful and can last and improve the lives of many, and it encourages others to join you. So I would encourage everyone to just, if they have a dream, to just go for it, because you never know, it will surprise you, and people are willing, they want opportunities to help others.
Well, congratulations on all the success. The impact is real, and we appreciate the work that you're doing in the community and in the lives of so many other people. And people don't realize that when you make an impact like that, there's ripples that are happening outside of your field of vision that are just as real to these people. So thank you for all that you do.
No, thank you. And thank you for opening the doors and for this opportunity, because we need to continue telling our stories, so more people get encouraged and motivated by them, and they do more. We need all the support and the help and the love that we can get.
Well, if somebody wants to learn more about CareMax, what's the website?
www.caremax.com. And
if somebody wants to connect with you, is LinkedIn the best place?
LinkedIn is always the best place. Carolina, Carolina, M as my middle initial, and Veira, Veira. And yeah, just send me a DM, whatever it's needed, and let's work together on spreading love and empathy and kindness to the world.
Well, thank you again for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.